listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
And in today's interview, Lawson, we are going to be talking to Dr. Luiz Sella. He's one of my best mates.
Oh, awesome.
But he's also a fantastic doctor. He's specialized in longevity medicine and also an endocrinologist. And he's going to be talking to us today about what is special about the Christian's understanding of health. So, Dr. Sella, welcome to the Breakfast Show. It's great to have you on board with us.
Hi, hello, Joseph. Good morning. It's great to be here.
Fantastic. So, Dr. Luiz, when we look at the Bible, I think that everybody, we have things that we say such as, health is wealth. And I don't think you can find one single person that will say that they don't believe that they should be healthy or that they don't want to be healthy. But when it comes to the Bible and from a Christian perspective, you being a Christian doctor, what is different? Why do people in general want to be healthy, and what's different or perhaps special about the Christian worldview of health?
That's a great question, Joseph. First of all, Christians believe that human beings were created by a loving God. So human life was not originated in a successful random process of evolution by chance. Christians believe that we were created by a loving God, and this God had a purpose when he created us. So he created us according to his own image, and we can read that in Genesis chapter 1. And after he created us, he wanted us to preserve life to the best possible so we can have abundant life. So according to the Bible, according to the scriptures, health is a gift from God that we should manage, that we should
steward,
protect. Yes, that's the exact word. We should be stewards of the health and the life that God has given us. So that gives us a different purpose in taking care of ourselves. It's when we have a healthy diet, when we exercise, when we take care of our health, we're actually thanking God daily for the gift of life that he has given to us.
It's fantastic that you say this, because it sounds like look after your health, as you mentioned, it's a thanksgiving to God. So therefore, it's an act of worship. You're just like saying to God, God, thank you so much for having created me. But I think that the opposite is true as well, right? So if you're not taking good care of your health, you're basically telling God, you know what? I don't really care about this gift that you have given me. I'm careless about it, and which is something that we often don't think about. But sometimes our actions speak louder than words.
If you think about the human body as a work of art and God being the creator, we should take really good care of it, because after God created us, he gave us the 10 commandments. And one of them is, which is written in Exodus chapter 20. One of them is, you shall not kill. And usually when people read that, they believe that God was talking only about, murder. That we are not allowed to take someone else's life. But behind the you shall not kill commandment, there is a principle. And the principle is God is the owner of life. We have to treat life as something that belongs to God. So we don't have the right to take someone else's life, but we also don't have the right to commit slow suicide, let's say it like this, through a very unhealthful lifestyle. So everything that destroys our health, or everything that puts our health in danger in terms of habits and choices, should not be really a part of the Christian lifestyle.
Oh, that is fascinating, particularly this idea. I never thought about it, Lawson, in this way.
Slow suicide.
Wow. Which is you're taking your own life by carelessness sometimes. So, Dr. Luiz, what else does the Bible say about about health? Because I know that a lot of people seek health because they want to live longer, because they want to look nice. What are some of the motivations? You mentioned one there, which is to be grateful to God and to respect the gift that He has given us and to care for it. Are there other motivators or motivations for a Christian to look after their health that is perhaps you don't find it in the general population?
Yeah. So one fascinating concept that we can read in the Bible is that our body is actually considered a holy temple or something sacred. So in the New Testament, especially the Apostle Paul, he writes that our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And when Jesus was here and before he was crucified and resurrected, he told his disciples that he was going to his Father, and when he was going to get there, to arrive there, he was going to send us the Holy Spirit, so we should not be alone. But every time that, God comes to our little planet here, in the Bible, God needs a temple, or He wants a temple. We see that in the Old Testament, in the temples that the Israelites built. And Apostle Paul says that our body is now the temple of the Holy Spirit. So if our body is a temple, it is sacred. And there are a lot of medical, scientific information today that is making a correlation between lifestyle habits and spirituality. Because if our body is a temple, and if we're not taking care of our bodies, this will hinder our ability to communicate with God. For example, we do know for a fact that we use our brains to communicate with God, especially an area of the brain which we call the prefrontal cortex, which is right here behind our foreheads. And the prefrontal cortex is the brain structure where spirituality sits. So if you are sleep deprived, for example, your prefrontal cortex will not work properly. And what does that mean? You're not only going to have problems with your temper or your humor, or you're not going to only have problems with mood regulation or regulating food intake, but that also hinders your ability to communicate with God, because the antenna that connects ourselves to God is not going to be function properly. So bad diet, lack of exercise, if you are, using alcohol, for example, that also hinders the ability of the prefrontal cortex. All of these lifestyle habits can actually make it harder for us to communicate with God and also to hear back His voice when He's speaking to us.
Wow. That is really great incentive to be able to have a greater and clearer discernment of God's will to our lives. But Dr. Sella, let me just say this. I think that the majority of people, if we are honest, they kind of know that, hey, that they need to be healthier. They kind of know generally what to do. People in general know what's good for you, what's bad for you. People know that, look, not exercising, it's bad. And, drinking and smoking, it's harmful to your health. The different kinds of foods as well versus, highly processed foods and deep fried stuff versus, healthy fruits, vegetables, and so on. So my question is, if people know about it, and what is missing for them to take ownership of their health? It's just is the motivation that is missing? How can people really put it in practice? What are the steps that you recommend for someone that is listening to us today that knows that they want to become healthier, that knows the pathway to get there, they're not lacking of information, how they can actually live that for the next 10 years and beyond?
That is a very good question, Joseph, because most of us, we know more than we live. right? Well, I mean, we talk more than we preach. We preach more than we actually live in our health. That's for a fact. And this is what I usually tell my patients. First of all, pause for a moment and take a look at your current lifestyle. How is your diet like? I mean, are you exercising? Are you drinking your water? Are you having, a good, refreshing sleep every night? Just make a list of the things that you should be doing and that you're not. And once you have that, and, most people will actually have a very clear idea of what they're doing wrong. Even if they're not health professionals, they're not doctors, but health information is so widespread today that most people have a good understanding of what they should be doing in terms of eating their fruits. So after that, just pick like one or two habits that you think are the most urgent for you to change, and then when you do that, this is the first thing that I tell my patients, now you just have to make a decision. And people usually, they want the results of a lifestyle change, but they do not want to engage in a lifestyle change itself. So let me give you an example. If you ask, 100 people who wants to lose weight, probably like 90 or 95% of them will say, well, I could lose, 1 or 2 kilos or even more. So most people want to lose weight. And then now if you ask a second question, who wants to do everything that is needed, everything that is required in order to lose weight, then a lot of them will drop their hands because we want the results, but we do not want to put in the effort that we need to get there. So every time we want to have a better health, it's actually a trade-in. We are, quitting drinking sodas, for example, or we are exercising because we want to benefit in the future. So every time you make a choice for your health, you are actually making a decision to start doing some things and stop doing things that you really like. And sometimes people don't want to do that. They just want a magic pill. They want to, just take a supplement or a medication, or, they want the results without putting in the effort. And that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And, Joseph, I don't believe in that we need just have some motivation to start doing it. Today I don't have the motivation, so I not do it. So let me wait until motivation comes. I think that doesn't exist. We have to do what is right, and we have to do what we have to do because it's the right thing to do. And motivation will come. Just make a decision and start doing it. That's what I tell my patients.
Absolutely. Dr. Sella, thank you so much. This is some very great perspective on the Christian's worldview about health and why is it important and how to get there. Dr. Luiz Sella, thank you so much for participating in the show today.
It was my pleasure.
We really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to host you again another time.